Hey everyone, it's Anthony Ramos from GLAAD here, and we are so excited to be working with our friends at Ketel One Family-Made Vodka during the holidays on a special series called Marvelous Hour, where we're going to be talking to some of our favorite LGBTQ celebrities, and we're going to be showing all of you how to make the perfect festive cocktail. Today, I'm going to be chatting with Charlie Carver, who is literally in everything that has been my favorite of 2020, and we're going to be learning how to make the Moscow Mule. So let's kick things off by welcoming our special mixologist, Joe Witowski, who's going to show us how to make the Moscow Mule, which I think is something that we've all heard of, but maybe don't necessarily know how to make. So I think it's the perfect festive cocktail. So Joseph, how are you? All the way in New Orleans.
I am. Thank you, Anthony, and hello, Charlie. The Moscow Mule is a perfect holiday cocktail, and it's really easy. 3 ingredients.
Okay.
So you build it in your cup, so you're not shaking, you're not doing anything overly heavy or involved. It's just a real quick, great way to entertain yourself and others. And we're going to start with our beautiful Ketel One Vodka, and we're going to use 1.5 ounces or a good glug. I mean, who doesn't like a good glug? But 1.5 ounces of Ketel One Vodka. You're going to pour that into the big side of the jigger.
That's that right here. Perfect.
Yep. And then you're going to put that into your copper mug, which is the traditional glassware, so to speak, for this beverage.
Very festive.
So we got our vodka in our mug. Now you're going to grab your half a lime.
Okay.
And your juicer. And you're going to put the little side down, fat side up. And you're just going to squeeze that into the mug. Bam. Now, you know what? We want a little more lime in there because, you got to fight scurvy for the holidays. Fighting scurvy. You and Carol Channing fighting scurvy. So do the other half of the lime. Do the same thing again.
Lots of lime, which is great.
Wake you up with some citrus, vitamin C goodness. And now here comes the hardest part. You're going to pour ice into your cup.
Ice in the cup. There we go.
Ice in the cup. And now we have our ginger beer.
Okay.
You're going to pour that on top. Top it all off and bring it all together.
How much ginger beer are we talking here?
Yeah.
Top the mug. You're just going to top it off.
All right.
Ginger,
there's no measurements.
It's warm, it's very festive, kind of like the fall, winter vibe, right?
Yep, give it a little stir.
Okay.
And we were so lovely to have these reusable spoons. So I stirred with that and just leave it in there. And there are a great many things you can use to garnish this. You can use candied ginger. I'm using a half a lime wheel because I think it just looks really pretty for that pop of green against the copper.
Okay.
Hey, I'd like to thank you all for letting me show you how to make my favorite Moscow Mule from Ketel One.
Yum.
And cheers.
Happy holidays.
Cheers.
Well, that is very delicious and refreshing. I'm definitely feeling the holiday magic. Joseph, thank you so much. Before I let you go, I know it's been a tough time for you all working as mixologists and bartenders. So what advice, I guess, do you have for, the community to kind of get through this holiday season? Because it really can be stressful in a normal year, outside of the pandemic, but here we are.
I've been really lucky here in New Orleans. I've been able to go back to work in the past few weeks, and it's been fantastic. But throughout this entire time, I've been leaning on my friends from my job at Bakery Bar here in New Orleans, other people I know from the industry, and I've been cooking a lot of food and dropping plates off when we had a hurricane. And just remember that there is a network of people that are really there to support you, and all you have to do is ask, and someone will show up and be there for you and to extend that to others, no matter what's going on.
I could not agree with you more. Thank you for that. And another cheers to you. Thank you so much. Thank you to Ketel One Family-Made Vodka for this incredible cocktail. And just a reminder that everyone out there watching, you can figure out how to make your own Moscow Mule by going to GLAAD, that's GLAAD.org. Joseph, I will hopefully get to come see you in New Orleans in person very soon. But until then, stay safe and have a happy holiday season. See you later.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you.
So, Charlie, I'm not just saying this. Two of my favorite things ever, Ratchet and Boys in the Band, you both did and were a part of. If that's one good thing of 2020, right?
Yeah.
Let's start with Ratchet because I was obsessed with it. I binged it all. And just a reminder, that's out now on Netflix. Sarah Paulson stars, but also executive producer. Tell me about that experience because it was so well done, but it also was so impactful.
Well, thank you. I was just so excited to get to be a part of it from the beginning. I mean, to have an incredible cast, but really a female-led cast. Sarah, not only in at the top of the call sheet, but also there in the producer's chair. It was just. I don't know. I guess an honor to be brought into the fold, and that was before I really knew the full story or knew too much about Huck, the character I played. I knew I would be playing a war vet and somebody who had some scarring from war injuries, but I didn't know where the season was going to take any of us. So to have those scripts come in, to walk onto those incredible sets. I mean, the most gigantic stages I've ever worked on before, and this like gorgeous period work by everybody in the set and the art department. It was just such a joy. It was a as you can imagine, a really intense thing to film. I mean, the show was full of gore and horror, and these really emotionally just painful scenes. But that was all kind of counterbalanced by just how wonderful everybody was on set. We laughed most of the way through it.
Yeah, and what I love so much, I did get a chance to talk to Sarah and Cynthia about it, and they said that it was so amazing because Ryan Murphy really goes in and rewrites history and reinserts the queer storylines. That people erased, basically. And, just for anyone out there that hasn't seen it, it's basically about, many things, but, there's Cynthia Nixon's character and Sarah Paulson, and it's this kind of romance that they have in this era of the, 40s, it's 40s, right?
40s, yeah.
Yeah.
And like immediately after the war. Yeah,
so it's so well done. And, Sarah Paulson is just incredible. So very excited that you got to do that. But I do want to talk about Ryan Murphy. I mean, you are in the Ryan Murphy universe, which I always say must be a magical place to be.
I like being part of the family,
Yeah.
God, I love that man. I think the world of him. And it's fun. I'm excited to see what happens in the future and so grateful for the past year. I filmed Boys in the Band and Ratchet back to back, and we didn't quite know what the release would be, and it turned out to also release within a week of each other this fall. So it just felt like basically 3 years of work with Ryan, first in New York on Broadway, and then bringing that stage work to the screen, and then Ratchet. Like, it's been the past 3.5 years of my life, and now that it's over, it's sort of strange. But
yeah. Ryan will have to come up with another project, but for you. Going back to Boys in the Band, I think one of the most interesting things about the film version is that just how much, because it's being shot for film as opposed to being on stage, that you can catch different glances, you can catch different reactions that you wouldn't be able to see on stage. So what was it like to kind of first do it on Broadway on stage and then kind of get to do it again, but in a completely different way?
I mean, it was a dream as an actor. It was my first professional theater gig, which is kind of crazy. And I learned a lot doing that. As you sort of pointed to, the actors are telling the story. It's up to the director to sort of shape things, but every night it's who's speaking for the most part, who's getting the attention. And so you learn to keep this energy, this ball in the air, and that's where I think as an ensemble, we just had so much trust and so much fun with each other, you know, knowing who had the ball and where the ball was going to go around the room. Suddenly you bring that to a soundstage, and there's, you know, cut being called every minute and a half. Everything's done in much shorter pieces and has to get stitched together. Working across those two mediums, if you will, like you realize what makes film special and you realize what makes stage special. And I learned a lot getting to take that stage performance and transpose it for the screen, where you just sort of go, okay, I don't necessarily have to do so much actively. I just have to trust more that Joe Mantello, our wonderful director, is going to pick up what I'm doing and stitch together in a way where the story gets told. So yeah, it was a lesson in sort of prepared effortlessness. And that was neat.
It's so well done also, and that everyone out there, that is also available on Netflix now. So stream everything on Netflix.
Netflix, baby.
I was just thinking, okay, Ryan Murphy universe, what if we could put you maybe in some sort of American Horror Story vibe, or what of those?
Of course, I would love. I'm a screamer.
Yeah,
I would love it. I would love it.
I would love that too. You know, we're here today celebrating the holidays. Obviously, different look for the holidays, as everything in 2020 is different. What is it like? What's it going to be like for you? Are you gonna you know, do any kind of virtual celebrations, or are you a big holiday person? Or
you know, my family, we Thanksgiving is actually the biggest holiday for us for some reason. We love to eat. My stepdad loves to like blow up a turkey on the driveway with a deep fryer. So it's always been our holiday, and the Christmas holiday as well. That this year that didn't happen, but it actually was kind of fine doing everything, you know, Zooming, doing FaceTime and Zoom and just sending updates throughout the day. Thankfully, I have my brother, we're in the same household, so we're able to do our own satellite little holiday, and I think it will be the same for Christmas. Yeah, I wonder, like, I wonder if there's a way. I haven't quite gotten into like thinking about gifts or any of that stuff yet, but there has to be a way to like make it special, right? Not just like okay, but make it special this year.
We did, for my birthday, we did like basically I opened things on Zoom and people had sent things. So maybe like for Christmas we can do that. I don't know. I know I can't, you know, we'll figure it out. What do you know, like I was saying with Joseph earlier, who made our fabulous drink, you know, holidays are not always easy for LGBTQ people. It can be tricky, especially now with, you know, some people being in homes that they necessarily may not want to be in, or, you know, less accepting parents, etc. What advice do you have for anyone out there that, you know, just trying to get through the holidays?
Yeah, well, I think Joseph said it a little bit earlier. I think one of the things that's sort of difficult to remember in this time where so many people are going through so much, the last thing I ever want to feel is like an imposition on anybody. And that can make it sort of difficult to ask for help or just reassurance or, you know, attention even. So reaching out and being the kind of person that other folks can reach out to. And thank goodness, like, everybody's situation at home is different, but I do think that community can be found anywhere, and we live in a time where community can certainly be found, you know, on the internet even. Like there is always a community out there, and I think it's important to just hold that to heart and keep it in mind.
I could not agree more, and thank you for reminding us all about that. But Charlie, this has been so fun. Thank you again for joining us, and thanks to our friends at Ketel One Family-Made Vodka for hosting this marvelous hour, and thank you to Joseph, our fabulous mixologist from New Orleans. If you have forgotten how to make this delicious Moscow Mule, you can go to GLAAD.org and find the recipe. Charlie, happy holidays, and don't forget—
Thank you so much, Anthony.
Ratchet and Boys in the Band. Catch Charlie on that on Netflix right now. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.